So I'm on the phone with Matt of The Split, a fantastic, fantastic band out of Ottawa who we can't stop spinning here at CHSR. And what is quite different about your group than everything else that's going on at the moment is that you have self-identified as neo-soul, like new soul. And I hear a lot of modern and traditional soul in it, but I guess I'm kind of curious to ask you is how has soul music changed or evolved since its beginning back in the 50s and 60s? Like, what makes you guys the neo-soul group?
Well, in terms of our sound, I mean, like you said, we try to incorporate some modern sounds into the palette of the old soul motif. But the genre itself has gone through many transformations. I mean, it used to, I don't know, the 60s soul, early 60s soul used to be defined by that backbeat and really catchy, sort of poppy melodies. But I don't know, throughout the 70s and 80s and into now, like it went to outer space and back. So, I mean, I'd say there's lots of things that are accepted underneath the banner of soul music.
And you guys being from Ottawa, let's just talk about the Ottawa music scene right now. Like, what's going on there?
There's a lot going on here. Well, actually, right now, the Ottawa Blues Fest is going on. It's like a 11-day big rock festival with, I think there's over 200 acts, but it supports many, many, many Ottawa bands. They all play the festival every day. There's usually a few Ottawa bands that are playing the festival. But aside from that, I'd say, I mean, we've been around here for quite some time performing, and there's as many different styles of groups as there ever has been. If not more. I mean, there's all sorts of things going on. There's a healthy punk scene in Ottawa. There's all sorts of country and roots bands and blues bands and rock bands. I mean, there's a lot going on in the scene, more than it gets credit for.
Well, speaking of Ottawa Blues Fest, I mean, that is one of Canada's biggest festivals going right now, and you guys were there. But what I want to ask about or chat about just for a second is the community work that you guys do, too. Blues in Schools, you're a part of that. Do you want to explain that a little bit?
They run a great program through the Blues Fest. It's a charity called Blues in the Schools. It's a program where musicians go into different schools and do like an assembly-style performance, talk about really it's open to the artist to what kind of, I guess, lesson plan or assembly they want to give to the kids, and you just sort of perform and talk about your material and maybe give them some background on the style of music that you're playing, and then they pair you up with a class for a week, and you sort of help them perform an assembly at the end of that week for their school, so that they become the performers. And we had a great time. We had kids singing old gospel tunes and some blues tunes and some modern stuff. It really turned out great.
Well, Fredericton has something similar. We have the Harvest Jazz and Blues Festival in September. I'm not sure if you are aware of it, but it's
great. It's great. We played years ago. We backed up a blues artist named, I think, Mark Green. This was years ago, but we had a great time.
Nice, because I wanted to ask, is that something you guys would ever come back to in the future? Like, I know it's a 7-piece band. It's kind of hard to pick up and travel.
That is true, but no, it's a fantastic festival. Besides the time we performed, which was years ago, we attended the festival a few times, just passing through Fredericton, and it's a great time. We were very impressed with the range of artists and the many different things going on the main drag there and all the clubs and in the big tent. It's a good time.
So, being the lead vocalist of The Split, I do have to mention that voice. You have the most incredible, smooth voice that I've heard in a long time. And how long have you known that you were going to be a soul singer? Like, it's just perfect.
I don't know. Like we've sort of, my brother and I have done a number of different, tackled a number of different styles of music in the past. But I mean, I sort of always, well, maybe not always, but most of the time, I sort of have that sound and that feeling. That's how I guess approach the vocals to material. But people, we used to, years ago, we were doing something that was leaning a little bit more on the rootsy side of things, and people would always say we were leaning on country motifs or things like that. But I always felt that the way I approached the vocals or how I sang a song, always, to me, I just always had that kind of that soul vibe to it. I feel like I just, where I place my lines in terms of the beat or the feel that I give, I feel like there's always been a little bit of that there, or a lot of that there. So for me, it was just a natural progression when we sort of made the switch to focus on this style of music. It just fit like a glove.
Well, did you listen to a lot of soul and R&B growing up?
Big time. I've always been a huge rhythm blues fan, so it's sort of natural to listen to some soul singers. But some of my favorite singers are soul singers. Sam Cooke and Bobby Womack lead the pack for me. They're huge influences and always have been since I was young or discovered them. Many great singers in that genre, but I do. I listen to a lot of soul music. Always have.
And you mentioned really briefly that your brother is in the band, but you actually have a couple sets of brothers in your band. And how does that work out for you guys?
We do perform with another set of brothers in the group, Michael and Daniel Graywell, and it works out good. I mean, my brother and I have developed sort of a interplay between us in terms of performance or in terms of writing material, and they definitely have a little bit of that going on too. I create the dynamic that's unique, and that's always a good thing.
So, what else do we need to know about the split?
Well, we're getting busier and busier all the time. Right now, my brother and I are performing as a duo at the Ottawa Blues Fest every day of the festival. And I did have to mention that last night we performed with the Texas Horns, the guys that play all the horns on our EP. We backed them up for a set of their material. It was fantastic. I got a chance to sing a few tunes, but I play the Hammond organ when we perform with them, and it was fantastic. But we've got a lot of shows coming up in Toronto. We're at the Cameron House in Toronto coming up very soon. And many things on the horizon. We're recording, getting into recording right now, anyways, for our next release, and hopefully we're going to have that out as soon as possible. I mean, maybe even the late fall. But right now we don't have any plans to come to the East Coast, but it's definitely something we want to do. And actually, you know what? My brother is involved in another project, and he's recording a record with a girl named Kelly Sloan from Ottawa in Halifax. They're going to Halifax in August. And I think he's doing that with the guy from the Inbreds. His name is escaping me right now. He's got a studio in Halifax. So he's actually going to be on the East Coast soon enough. So maybe he'll make some connections and get us down there.
You never know. So how can we get a hold of you if we want to find out more about the split, or your EP Can't Get Enough if we want to go find that online?
Well, our webpage is called it's www.thesplitsoulmusic.com. We're on Twitter and Facebook, all that kind of stuff. You can get our EP Amazon or iTunes, and all the information is available on our webpage as well. But also, if you're a fan of the music and you like what you hear, we are coming out with something very soon. So, pay attention for that. And I just want to say that we very much appreciate the support that we're getting in Fredericton. So I'd like to say thank you very much.
Well, as a fan, I'm very excited to hear that there's new stuff coming very, very soon. Okay, so my last question to you is, what are you listening to right now? Like, what should I go check out after I hang up the phone?
What am I listening to right now? We got the chance to catch Charles Bradley's show the other night at the Ottawa Blues Festival. We had to meet him too. It was a great night. But his new album is fantastic. So if you haven't heard Charles Bradley yet, or if you haven't heard his new stuff, check it out, because he's a great soul singer. I mean, a huge influence on me as well.
And he's actually coming back to Harvest Jazz this year too.
Don't miss that show.
Yeah.
Don't miss it. It's fantastic.
Well, Matt, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us here at CHSR. I know you're quite busy right now with the Blues Festival happening in Ottawa. And I just want to wish you all the best with everything, and I can't wait to hear some more from the Split.
Thank you very much, Aaron. I really appreciate it.